and the Brit's the place to be. Radio living is the life for me. Airwaves spreading out so far and wide. Keep your FM, just give me that internet side.
Online is where I'd rather stay. I've got a lot of music to play. I just adore a Yankee view. Darling, I love you, but give me a show to do.
The Chat.
The Brats.
On air.
That's fair.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, British life.
The Yankee and the Brit on air.
Good evening. Is this Donny from the Donny Hammonds band?
It is. How are you guys doing?
Hello. Good evening.
How you doing? You get your gig all done?
How are you guys doing? Just got done with a gig.
Awesome. Did you have a good night?
I did. This was actually my second gig of the day.
Wow.
Yes. Sorry for being delayed a few minutes and calling in. Like I said, this is
That's all right.
second gig of the day. So I stay very busy, but I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful.
Did you get some of them sticky panties thrown at you?
I did, man. Panties and bras and everything.
Attaboy.
It's rock and roll, you know.
That's right. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, if you got any that was flying right through the air and looked like the size of a big giant wedding tent, they were mine.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They use them for rubber bands, didn't they?
They make a good slingshot too.
Yeah, slingshot. Oh yeah. I had two great gigs. So, and like I said, I stay busy. I'm very fortunate. Stay booked about 5 to 6 nights a week. So
right now, are you tired or are you feeling still a little bit high from your gig?
I'm always high. I still have that rush until I get home, and my wife's like, I just got home. You know, when I get home from a gig, she's like, "Are you not tired?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but it'll take me a few minutes to come down." You know what I mean?
That's right.
So,
where are you gigging
at? Right now, I'm in Carrollton, Georgia, and then earlier today, I was in Cartersville, Georgia.
Cartersville. Oh, I think I remember that place.
Yeah, Cartersville, and then I'm in Carrollton tonight. So, like I said, they're about an hour and a half apart.
Did you pack the house?
It was a really good crowd, really good crowd. Good tippers, man. It's always good when we get paid for what we love to do, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Makes it that much fun. Yeah.
Now, you wasn't one of them little redneck places with a screen in front of you, were you?
No. Tonight was actually a vineyard. It was one of those classy places, man. High class. I was at it's called the Little Vine Vineyard. Yeah. So that's why the tips were good. You know what I mean? When we play the chicken wire places, they don't tip. You know, they just throw beer bottles.
Yeah. I was gonna say, ain't it nice not to have a beer bottle in your eye socket once in a while?
Yeah. They'll throw a beer bottle and scream, "Play Freebird!" You
know. Not that.
No wonder he likes getting underpants thrown at him if it's a change from beer bottles. Yeah, they're soft. Well, they're not always soft,
except for the crusty spot.
Yeah, but you know any Skinner, you know. It's good. Like I said, we play all kind of stuff. But yeah, like I said, it was a really good day today. Today was earlier today in Cartersville was a festival, and I was there from 10 to 5. So I've had a long day. I left my house at about 9 o'clock this morning, and I'll get in about midnight. So
and it ain't over yet.
It ain't over yet. No, it starts back over tomorrow morning. I also own a recording studio and produce other bands and do music videos and everything of that sort on that end of the stuff that's not the live music. So I'll be back at my studio first thing in the morning. So
when do you sleep?
Very, very seldom. I'm lucky if I get 4 to 5 hours a night. You know.
Damn. So how'd you get into music?
I've been playing since I was about 12. I had two uncles, James and Gene Whitley. They were both into country music and got the opportunities to play on the Grand Ole Opry behind Waylon Jennings and did a few things like that. And then my uncle James was inducted into the Atlanta Country Music Hall of Fame by Vern Gosdin.
Wow.
And so that was a cool thing. And like I said, I just grew up around it. All my family they played or sang. My grandmothers they sang in church and did all that stuff. So I just kind of followed in the footsteps. And then when in high school, well, in middle school, because I started when I was around 12. I had a lot of friends that were into playing music. So a lot of them wanted to play music to get the girls and stuff like that, because they realized that a guitar was better than playing football. You know,
That's right.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I just hung around a lot of friends, and this got the bug. And like I said, I started when I was 12, and I'm 42 now, and haven't stopped. And like I said, I've been full time at it for about 10 years.
Wow, good.
Yeah. So
Nisi says, "Hey, Donnie."
Oh, hey there. How are you?
She's tuned in and checking you out.
That's awesome.
What's your earliest musical memory from when you were young and dribbled all over the place?
I still have those. I have a lot of them. I was in Nashville.
You still dribble all over the place.
Yeah. Well, I was in Nashville in October, and I got opportunity to record at RCA. And RCA is where Dolly Parton, Porter Wagner, Charlie Pride, Waylon Jennings, a lot of these big legendary country acts recorded. And I actually recorded three new singles. Well, the Room 258 song and a couple other ones in the same recording studio as where Waylon Jennings recorded. And so that was kind of cool. And then while I was there, I got to play at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. That's been one of my things on my bucket list, is to play the Bluebird. And I got to play there, and of course Tootsie's all on Broadway. But one of the mouth dribbling things is when I was up there, the band that was backing me on doing some of the live performances I did up there in Nashville was the touring band for George Jones, Merle Haggard, and Tammy Wynette.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, so those guys were top notch, and either stuff. So it was great playing with somebody of that caliber. I've never played with anybody of that caliber of that's played with George Jones, and
How'd you manage to keep your fingers on the strings without shaking to death?
Yeah, that's why I told somebody, because I never get nervous. And like I said, I've just been doing it so long, I never get nervous. But when I walked up on the stage and they're like, "Yeah, we played with Merle Haggard and George Jones," I'm like, "Oh, game changer." Got a little bit nervous, but like I said, it was an awesome experience.
I don't think with those guys you got to worry. You play and they'll follow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, what I do, and exactly. They said, "You play, we'll follow. You don't have to worry about." And it's, because our bands and bands we work with, we all rehearse and do stuff, and just practice to get it right. And man, those guys, I told them what key I was in, and they said, "Okay, let's go."
Now you got your own band that goes with you, right?
Yes, yeah. I have my own band, and see, up in Nashville, a lot of that stuff, a lot of times they'll have session musicians and stuff like that, and sometimes the band plays and sometimes it doesn't. But yes, I do have my my own band. Timothy Coelho is the bass player, and then Steve Pace is the drummer. And Steve was had a band back in the early 70s. It was on the same record label as the Allman Brothers. And so he had a couple of videos on MTV, and got to tour with a lot of big names back in the 80s, and that's an awesome experience to be playing with him as well. So,
do you have any backup singers?
Just our the drummer's the only one that does any backup. We won't let the bass player have a microphone.
Uh-oh.
Hey, the bass player is the cool one with the two guitars. Is that right?
Yeah. He's like, I don't get a microphone. We're like, no. You just play bass. Yeah. But we give him a hard time though. Like I said, we have fun, or else we wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's what it's all about.
So, what do you like to do to relax?
I know it sounds crazy, but listen to music.
I was going to say you don't have much time to relax.
I'm shocked. I'm falling off my chair in shock.
I mean, when I'm not playing, I'm my wife and I, we have a little bar in our home, and the pool table and darts, and the record player. I'm a vinyl junkie, so we collect vinyl, and so we just I very seldom have a night off, and if I got a night off, then we're listening to records, playing pool, and drinking.
Wow.
Yeah, so just hanging out and enjoying my my house when I get to
What kind of rules do you live by? You must have some pretty strict rules to keep all this going.
I mean, my big thing is, for my music is, and like I said, owning the studio and working with a lot of other bands. I see bands coming there and, they'll record an album or a CD or EP or something like that. And then, 6 months later, I see on their social media or something that they've already broken up. My big thing is, and like I said, I've had the same bass player for about 3 years. And you see a lot of bands change members and stuff like that. My thing is just, I'm not a slave driver, but I try to seek perfection and stuff like that. What I do is I set a goal, and once I meet that goal, I'm not happy. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so
I do.
I just strive because, like I said, my music is how I pay my mortgage and make my living, and and so I try to be the best I can at it. And my big thing is just being persistent and consistent as well. Like I said, a lot of bands, they'll record something and they have the CD in their hand, but they don't market it or do anything like that to get gigs. So like I said, I'm as you see today, I woke up at 9:00 and started a festival at 10:00, and I did the festival from 10 to 5, and here I am 10:14, at night and just finishing up. So like I said, music is my 24/7, and I have a very good supportive wife. I appreciate her and love her. So she doesn't complain about me spending money on gear and stuff like that. So
got to spend money to make money.
So do you think you are doing better as an independent artist than you would if you was to have a big record label? Is it, do you feel in control of how it all goes?
I like being in control, and that's not like I don't have like control issues, but I've got a couple of different friends that are with several different labels, and you're kind of told what to do, where to go, and when to be there and stuff like that. And you're kind of more pressure and stress, I guess, because you have when you sign with a label, they may give you an advance or something like that, and you're required to pay that back. So it's just kind of dealing with a label. You have to please them and make sure you make them money. Which is fine, is the name of the game, and doing like I do, I book my own shows, and I've built it up to where we can kind of get different amounts of pay at different venues and stuff like that. But it's just not, I don't have somebody watching over my shoulder saying, okay, you've got to sell this much merchandise because you owe the record company $10,000, or what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there are perks to having the big label, having a big label distribution and stuff like that, getting your CDs in Walmart and Target and all the Best Buy and all the big stores, you know what I mean, that some of us indie artists can't do because we don't have that big distribution label. So everything, it's just like everything has its pros and cons. So, but I mean, having a record label, when you need something, it'd be nice to have a bus. I don't have a bus. I can't afford to spend $200,000 on a bus.
So you're planning on staying an independent then?
No, I mean, while I'm doing the independent thing and just working and staying busy, like I said, I've been independent for 10 years. And but if I am seeking major label as well. So if it does come along and something to where my hands aren't tied, completely to where I can't do anything, without calling somebody, then I'd like to do that. Because like I said, there's like I said, the distribution is bigger, and the exposure. I hate to use the word exposure, but right now when I email CMT and says, hey, I've got a video. If I'm not with a label or a distribution company, then they're, what I mean? They just kind of toss it over to the side because there's so many independents out there, like us trying to do that. So their mailboxes get, bombarded with all kind of stuff.
Yeah, but after 10 years of doing it yourself and pretty much being on your own all your life, are you going to be able to make that change if one of them labels comes along and snatches you up?
Yeah, because that, I'm if that comes about, like I said, and everybody looks at, well, man, they're going to offer a bunch of money, and I don't want to look at the money thing as the motive for it. But I mean that, of course, that's to say what's not about the money would be, would be dumb. You know what I mean? Because
right.
it is about the money. But I also want to make sure that, I don't owe them my life, for the rest of my life indebted to them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it would be something that I would have to have, like an entertainment lawyer look over and stuff like that.
Well, absolutely. You personally, though, I mean, could you just let go of everything you've known and done, doing it your own way? That's maybe we don't see that till it happens, but that's a big change.
Yeah, one thing I was dealing with when I was up in Nashville recording, I was recording at RCA, so that's a really really big deal. But and one of the like distribution guys that I was working with has been like a distribution guy for like Jason Aldean, Tim McGraw, just like all these big artists and stuff. So he was wanting to back me and wanting to sign me to his label. And that was one of the things, or to his promotion. It was Jerry Duncan Promotions, and he's huge in Nashville. Like I said, he's worked with Jason Aldean and Toby Keith and all these guys. But he says, okay, if I need you to drop everything that you're doing for like 3 months, so we could do like a radio tour and have you go around to different radio stations in different states and stuff like that, could you do that? And my reply was no. And like you're talking about, just dropping everything. And the reason is because he was asking for like 3 to 4 months, maybe 3 to 6 months of doing radio campaigns and stuff like that, doing radio ads and stuff like that to promote the singles.
Right.
But see, over the past 10 years, I've worked and built up, my regular gigs and my shows. Like I've got a restaurant or a venue that we play every week, and I've been playing there. Now check this out. I've been playing there every Wednesday for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's you'd think they would get tired of us, but like I said, I'm always adding new material, so it's never the same. You know what I mean? I have a catalog of doing cover stuff as well. We do a lot of cover stuff, so I have a catalog of about 700 cover songs that I can perform.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's one thing that keeps me busy. And see, I've got all these places over 10 years that I've built up already. For like 2019, I already have I think I've got close to 30 shows booked already. And so I'm very fortunate, and I stay booked. And like like I said, I've built up my niche, and I'm making my living here. So that's why I told him, I said, I can't drop everything and just do this and go, because if I do that and go and it doesn't work, and I come back home to my people that and be like, okay, I'm ready to pick up where I left off.
Yeah, they're going to tell you to piss off.
Yeah, exactly. I said it's either somebody's going to have filled my shoes, or they're going to be like, well, you left. You know what I mean? I said, so you have to promise me something that's going to be consistent and something that I can look at and say, okay, I'm going to have enough income for the next year or something like that in case I had to rebuild. And they couldn't promise me that. So I backed out of that part.
You mean they want you to go off for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you're not going to get paid?
Well, a lot of it depended on how the single, like the Room 258, that was the main one that they were wanting to push. And so when I backed out of it, see, I still own all my copyrights and, the stuff, because see, I wouldn't sign any copyrights or any publishing, because I have my own publishing company. So I get 100% of copyrights and publishing and everything. So if you sign with a label, it may be 50-50 or whatever, which is fine. If I'm, if they make me, $300,000 or whatever, that's more than I could have made it alone.
Right.
But like you said, they were wanting me to drop everything and go, and I couldn't do that. I said, I can't basically leave my comfort zone where I'm making a steady living. You know what I mean? I'm making a steady living, and I have, like I said, the Wednesday night gig I've been playing every Wednesday for 8 years. And like I said, I just have regular stuff that venues call and says, hey, we want to book your band, once a month for the whole year. Like I've had several venues already know that I get booked up fast, and it's fortunate for me. Not that I'm just great, but they're like, we know if we want to book you, we have to book in advance. And not many bands have that pleasure. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah,
But
and obviously you have the reputation that your word is good.
Yeah, and going back to your question, like, what is, I don't think I answered it completely. Like, what are some of my, things that I do? I mean, dedication and dependability is top priority. I mean, I see things on my social media all the time that somebody says, well, hey, tonight's show is canceled because, they've got a sore throat or a runny nose or, got a cold or something. You know what I mean? I don't cancel shows. I mean, if I cancel a show, I'm going to be calling from a hospial bed. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
Knock on wood. And like I said, that's one thing that people knows that I will be there, and I'll give 100%. I don't care how I feel. I'll suffer the repercussion and the consequences if I'm sick of when I get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a tough row to hoe too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But like I said, so that's the main thing. Just dedication and dependability. And when, like I said, I see so many bands. I work with bands, every day in my studio, and they come in and they get, down and out because they can't book a gig, and they're like, well, we're spending all this money on gear and practicing, and we can't get a gig, and then they give up, and it's wasted. I don't, I'm even if something happened and I wasn't able to play gigs, I wouldn't stop music. You know what I mean? I would play in my bedroom or in my living room. I'd sing to my wife or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just music. Music is my passion, and I meet people that do it for a hobby, and then there's very few, far in between, that have the passion that says, okay, I'm going to do this, come hell or high water, whatever it takes. My time, my money. Like I said, my wife is very supportive of the time. I mean, I did that festival this morning from 10 to 5. Okay, I ran home at 5:15 to change vehicles, to get to load some stuff for another vehicle for the gig tonight, and I saw her for probably about 15 minutes, and then I said, I got to go back out. Like I said, a lot of times she gets to go with me, but she works. She has her own personal day job as well, so a lot of times she don't get to go out with me. But the only thing she complains about is just tells me she misses me and stuff like that. And she loves me, but like I said, she supports it and doesn't try to stop it.
It'll all be worth it in the end.
It will. That's why I tell her. I said, I make decent money now. And I said, when I'm making the big money, But even if something happens and I never get a major label and don't make big money, she knows that like my music is what makes me happy. Without it, I'd be miserable. You know what I mean? And I see that. I see, girlfriends and boyfriends and husbands and wives, separate or get divorces because the wife's trying to keep the guy from doing it. If he really loves it, he's miserable. He's miserable not doing it, and he's miserable with staying with a partner that doesn't support it. You know what I mean?
Just like the truck driving life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So I love it. I mean, I eat, sleep, and breathe it. 24/7.
Well, I think that's a beautiful thing. Where can we find your music?
If you go to www.thedonnyhammondsband.com, and that's DonnyHammonds, and it's just the DonnyHammondsBand.com. And of course, you can go to Facebook and search us, but I like to push my website, the DonnyHammondsBand.com, because you can get T-shirts, koozies, stickers, and I've actually released 11 albums in doing since I started. Like I said, I've been full time at it for 10 years, but I used to work a day job. I was in the car business and just played on the weekends. But like I said, I left the car business and went full time about 10 years ago. But I've released 11 albums since I started.
Holy mackerel! You've been a busy little boy.
Yeah, so they're all on our website. All 11 albums. Each of them have 10 songs. I'm OCD about having 10 songs. Actually, what made me do that when back in the day when I started recording and releasing albums, we back in the 80s, cassettes were the thing. You know what I mean? Because CDs weren't around, so it was a cassette. So I would always put 5 songs on each side. So I would just always like having 10 songs. So but yeah, each one of them has 10 songs, and I've released 11 albums, and they're all on you can find them on iTunes, Spotify. Go add me on Spotify on your playlist, and all the Pandora and all the digital distribution sites as well. And
you write your own songs, do you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, every once in a while I'll write with another writer, but like I said, pretty much, I write and all my own stuff. And actually, all of those 11 albums, I've recorded myself in my studio as well.
Wow.
Do you have any produced videos?
Yes, I do.
They do. They have some cool videos.
Do they? Okay.
They do.
I do a video pick of the week every week.
Oh yeah, man, I'd love to do that. If you go to the website, they're on there. But if you want to make it easy for yourself, if you just go to YouTube and put in Donny Hammonds, there's going to be. We did one that's called The Bottle. One's called Believe, and the other one was called Voices Calling. And actually, I have. Now that I think about it, and when I start adding them, I've got there's about 5 or 6 videos that were professionally shot on there. So
which one's your favorite?
They're all different. Like The Bottle, we've been getting a lot of good feedback on the Bottle.
The Believe song is pretty good.
Yeah, and I should say the Believe is like the one that's got like the most hits on it so far, because it's a good positive song. The Bottle song is about overcoming addiction with alcohol. So we've had a lot of people that were recovering alcoholics from AA. I mean, I've had several grown men sit and listen to that song and cry because they can relate to it, and that meant a lot to me, because if somebody can cry or laugh, be happy, get cold chills from something I write, then that means there's something there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's another song about tailgates and tan lines or whatever. The stuff on the radio today is just kind of
Well, you ain't telling me. That's why we do this.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we do appreciate you guys.
Oh, we get to hear all the real music. We ain't out there fooling around with that FM garbage.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys supporting us indie artists.
We appreciate you taking a few minutes to hang out with us here. Just kind of give us an idea who you are and what's going on. I'm going to look over those videos. It might be next week's video pick of the week.
Oh, man, that'd be great. Let me know, like I said, because I've been pushing the show and advertising and stuff like that as well. So, I'd love that. And like I said, there's just, there's a lot of live videos. But like I said, there's I think we've got 6 that were, professionally done and everything. So like I said, or I could go through and, send you the links to save you from some trouble to have to get, go, copy the links, whatever it takes. Like I said, I'll do my part on the end, because you're promoting for me, and, I'll do what I can to make it easy.
No, we'll go through them. I mean, that's half the fun of us taking a break, is sit and watch some good videos.
I sat and went through them all yesterday morning.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
And you left me out.
I did.
See how them women are?
I sat and looked through yesterday morning.
Well, all right. Yeah. Hey, well, thanks for taking the time to hang out with us, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, everybody just go look at the DonnyHammondsBand.com, because we play anywhere from Nashville to Atlanta. I mean, I was in Jasper, Georgia last night, and that's a cool place. It's up in the mountains, up in near Blue Ridge and LJ, up in the mountains and stuff like that. But like I said, we just got an invitation. I just got done playing the gig in Carrollton here, and we just got an invitation to come to North Carolina.
Wow,
so,
nice.
Yeah. So like I said, we have trailer, we'll travel. You know what I mean? So if there's venues needing some band, and like I said, and on our website, other than our merchandise, we have all the original music they can hear, but we also have a cover. We did like it's about a 6-minute segment thing of cover songs, because a lot of the venues we play, they want a cover band. And not only do we do country and stuff like that, we do a mix of classic rock. We do a lot of 80s rock. So and that's another thing that keeps me busy. We have that sample. So on the sample, it's about 5 or 6 minutes long, but I sample about 15 different, there's about 30 or 40 seconds of about 20 different songs that we do, ranging from Michael Jackson to Black Sabbath, whatever. So like I said, we don't only do country, you know what I mean?
Wow. You got that whole Bill Kirshner thing going on over there.
Yeah. So we just, a venue calls and says, hey man, we need a country band. We'll come play. They're like, hey, we need a rock and roll band, and we can cover it, and we're so, but it's, we love to play. Like I said, it's, and I've got guys in my band that, I can call in 30 minutes and say, hey man, we got to hit the road. And they're like, okay, we'll be there. And it's hard to find that. I mean, like I said, working with other bands in my studio, I see, lack of discipline to do what it takes, and just, people get motivated. I have bands in there, and they're on the clock paying for the hour, paying hourly, and they're sitting there waiting on the drummer to get there. The drummer is 45 minutes late or something like that. And it's just, I see all different cases. So, one of the big things is, being dedicated and saying, okay, I'm going to do this, whatever it takes. So I'll get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep.
Well, I don't want to find you and Hendrix somewhere playing together.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man, we're going to let you go. We'll get over here. We're going to play your another tune. I'm going to play that Bottle song.
Okay, great, man. Like I said, I do appreciate it, and thank you for all you do.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Take care of yourself, man. Hope we'll get back here. You're ever in North Texas, don't forget to look us up.
Will do, man. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Maybe you're listening and not chatting.
Maybe you're plucking your eyebrows.
Maybe you're washing the dishes.
Maybe you're cleaning the toilet. But either way, it all goes down much better when you're jamming to the Yanki and the Brit on the RTM Radio Network.